All right, folks, today is the last trading day of August 2020. Today is the 31st. Little interesting day today. We had a little challenge right out of the gate today. Had some fairly sizable swings in the NASDAQ 100 futures. When we take a look at our 5-minute chart and we look at the adaptive entry system. So I opted to sit on the sidelines here for probably the first hour or so of trading. Now, I have the results of that first hour of trading in the data that I'm going to show you, but realistically, when you see some initial huge bars, the size of the bar, all in the 5-minute period, there's some wisdom in maybe just sitting out for a little while until you develop some sort of a trend. And you can see what happened here in the first bar of the day. The range was about 47 points. Next bar of the day was about 30 points. Now, they aren't necessarily huge compared to some other days, but we were getting fairly sizable swings back and forth, which would cause very quick stop outs on the trades. The 940 bar, so we're just 10 minutes into the market session, that had a 42-point range. And then what happened is we ended up getting into a pattern here where we pretty much trended higher until late morning, had a little sell-off here, and then we got right back into a upward trending pattern. All of this, if you're not familiar with what you're looking at, is based on the 5-minute chart of the NASDAQ 100 futures using the adaptive entry system by New Cycle Trading and Analytics. And all of these green and red boxes are the signals that we trade. They are trend trades, so initiates a trend. There are consensus signals. There are continuation signals, that's the T plus, and there are momentum signals, that's the M. Any signal that is highlighted in a green vertical bar is a signal to go long, or if you're an options trader, you're buying to open a call. Any signal that's highlighted with a vertical red bar is a signal to go short, or if you're an options trader, you are buying to open a put or trading some other style of downward bias spread strategy. So we profile the NASDAQ 100 5-minute chart adaptive entry system every day in the room, and we do it primarily because we like trading the NASDAQ 100 futures, but we also know that it gives us a lot of activity to be able to help each of the traders within our community understand how to think about the signals, how to react to the signals, how to adjust your trade if the signal goes away. So it provides a lot of activity for that. So here at the end of the day then, we take a quick review of our performance. So I'm going to just scroll back here. Those of you who like to take a quick screenshot of 7 a.m. to, in this case, the last trade was 3:20 today that we completed. And then I'm going to jump over to the summary page. Now there are two categories that we track. And when I say track, what we do is we translate our performance for the day into the personal trading plan. So we've developed a personal trading plan to help traders understand where today's performance for them falls in a 12-month forecast. So if you're 3 months into your 12-month trading plan, you've got 3 months worth of actual performance, which is defining your averages for you, and then you plug in today's performance and tomorrow's performance and each day after that, and you will have a reasonably good understanding of what your run rate is, what the average is of your performance, blending together both winning and losing trades and winning and losing days. If we can forecast going forward the remainder of our 12-month period based on the actual averages that we've achieved so far to date in our 12-month forecast, then we have a reasonable probability of being able to achieve the level of income that the forecast is going to show you. and I'm going to show that to you here in just a moment. The two primary categories that we track are 9:30 to noon, trading all signals, all of the signals that I just mentioned to you, the trend signal, the continuation, the consensus, and the momentum. And the second category we track is trading only the trend signals and continuation, but looking at that activity from 7 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. There's another category that I'm paying attention to lately. We're not tracking it in our personal trading plan, but we are keeping track of it in terms of optimizing our view of which category produces the best overall balanced profit, risk, win-loss ratio, etc. So I'll share a little bit more about that with you in here in just a minute. All right, so I'm going to jump over to our personal trading plan, and I'm going to start with our 9:30 to noon category. So today is Monday, August 31st, and what's interesting is you'll see here that the plan, so anything in white is our plan, anything in blue is what is actually recorded for performance, actual performance for those days. But today the plan was actually to lose 17.7 points, to lose $1,062. Well, why would we plan on losing? Well, the reality is we are going to have losing days, and our experience tells us that on an average over a 12-month period, those losses will occur approximately one day out of every 5 trading days. So we've factored that into our personal trading plan by showing a losing day, and we just, put it in on Monday. Every Monday of every week is planned as a losing day. That's just so that we can put a number in there and have it average out once every 5 days. So our performance today was we lost 24.75 points. Doesn't always mean that the loss is on Monday, but today it was 24.75 points. Each point on the NASDAQ 100 is worth $20. So for today, that is a $495 loss, but we're trading 3 contracts. The personal trading plan has graduated us, scaled us up to 3 contracts. So I'm going to go over to our data entry field, and I'm going to put in a negative 1485. And we did 11 trades between 9:30 and 12. And those 11 trades were 3 contracts each. So there's 33 contracts. And so now we do the important work. We go up to the top where all of our average data is. So what we're seeing here is that our average of winning days is averaging 27.25 points a day. Okay, that's good information for us. The blue number right here in cell E5 is where we plan our winning day performance going forward for the remainder of the 12 months. Now we're 8 weeks and a day into our 12-month plan, so we want to make sure that the go-forward plan forecast is as accurate as possible, and the best way to make that accurate is to have it based on our actual run rate. So I've got 27.25 in there. I'm going to leave it alone. Now the average loss for our losing days is 14.67. However, as I mentioned, we plan on losing over the course of a year 1 day a week, on an average 1 day out of every 5 days. We've actually had 11 losing days out of 8 weeks and a day, and my plan for the losing days is 17.7. The actual average of the losing days is 14.67. However, we're averaging slightly ahead of our planned losing days. So I'm going to leave that at 17.7 for right now. We'll see how it develops over the next couple of weeks. So all of that together means that we're using the basis of our actual run rate to forecast a 12-month period. We started with $5,000. we're willing to allocate up to 10% of our account balance to contracts. And we can then limit, after 10%, we can limit the maximum number of contracts we'll ever scale up to. In the case of this plan, because I'm showing this to you as an example, I want you to see what is possible. 3 contracts is the maximum that we've scaled up to. All of that combined projects an income of $273,242. Okay, that's pretty decent, starting with $5,000. We don't know what it's going to be yet. Could be slightly more than that, could be slightly less than that. A lot of it's going to depend on what our actual performance is every day. As our actual performance is entered at the end of each trading day, this will recalculate for us what our average performance is on winning days and what our average performance is on losing days. So for now, I think that that's a very realistic goal, the $273,000 of income over a 12-month period, based on having started with $5,000 in the account and just every day recycling the same capital. We're basically taking advantage of earning bigger profits more and more every day on the same base capital and continuing to grow that way. So let's jump to our other category, which is the trend bias only trades from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Trend bias only, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's trend bias plus the continuation, which is just part of the whole trend. And our performance for today was 7 3/4 points positive. Hey, we started down pretty big this morning, so to finish positive is very healthy. And there's actually another trade I think that came on here after 3:30, which I'm not including in this. But 7 3/4 points. Okay, so 7.75 at $20 a point. It's $155, and we are trading 3 contracts times 3. So we managed to finish positive for today. We did have 19 trades at $3 or 3 contracts per trade, so there's 57 contracts that were traded, and so we did manage to finish positive, just $237. Same thing, we're going to go up to the top here and take a look at what our average performance is for winning days. It's 34.67. Well, we have our forecast in at 35.6. I'm going to change that to 34.6. And I want to leave our losing trade plan alone. We are right in line with the frequency of losing days, 7 losing days for 8 weeks and a day. And I'm going to leave our average number of points planned for future losses alone because it's right in line with our actual run rate. So same 3 contract max cap there, and that takes us from $5,000 to potentially $366,000 over a 12-month period. Now, some of you may have slippage. I mean, if you're trading right in lockstep with us, some of you may have some slippage. You may have decided to decrease the number of contracts or increase the number of contracts. Your actual averages might be slightly different than what I'm showing you here. Don't get hung up on the minute details. What I want you to understand is that directionally, this is a plan and a strategy that you can build for yourself. Building a trading forecast based on starting with a certain amount of money. Some people start with $30,000 in their account. Others start with $3,000 in their account. Some start with more than $30,000. But whatever you choose to start with, establish a run rate for yourself. This is all about trading the signals, deciding which signals you're going to trade, what method you're going to use to trade, following the adaptive entry system, and trade those signals. And you can then establish your own run rate, use that as your future forecast, and you will understand what your personal potential income could be. Okay, so let's jump back over to the tracking here, and I want to just talk about the averages. So today we averaged, we did 7 3/4 points on our trend bias and continuation trades on a daily basis. If you look back over 56 days since we first rolled this out in the live trading room, 35.35 points a day. So today we were under that, obviously, but the average overall is 35.35 points. We've had 5 negative days, 5 losing days over a 56-day period. Now this period of time covers a little bit more than the personal trading plan does, because we started profiling the personal trading plan after we released the adaptive entry system in the live trading room. The other category, which is our 9:30 to noon category, is averaging 23.95 points a day. There have actually been 10 negative days, 10 days overall that have been losing days, but still we're averaging just under 24 points a day trading that time period from 9:30 to noon. And the number one, or I would say the most optimum combination of trading time frame, average point production, number of negative days, and the win-loss ratio is this category, which is the 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. trading all signals, so taking the trend bias trades, the continuation, the consensus, and the momentum, trading all of those signals is averaging 77.3 points a day. And what we've done is we've stack ranked those categories: negative days, points, ranking, and then the win-loss ranking. And we add up the categories, and the lowest value is the optimum performing, and then we've stack ranked them. Now we have 3 other categories that are tied for second place, and the good news is 2 of those 3 other categories are the 2 categories that we profile every day in the personal trading plan. So we're pretty excited about this whole process, and I strongly recommend that even on a day like today where maybe it didn't feel very good to have a losing day, if you were trading the 9:30 to noon, or if you just felt like it was kind of a struggle today. That's the way it felt to me earlier today when we had some drawdowns on positions. Let's see here. You can see here that we had 2 back-to-back 20-point losses and then another 20-point loss. Those all happened within the first hour of trading. So that doesn't feel very good. Now, I had announced that I was going to sit on the sidelines and wait. I still record those trades in here because they were a legitimate trade, but in my own personal account, I might be sitting on the sidelines and waiting for things to smooth out a little bit. And that's some of the reason why perhaps some of your actual performance might be a little different than what I'm showing you. You might miss a trade, or you might decide not to take a trade. I record every single trade presented by the adaptive entry system signal set here, and I record them win or loss. I record them based on what actually happened, whether we locked in 5 points and got stopped out at 5, whether we locked in 5 points and it kept moving and took us out at 10 points, or whether the signal completely reversed on the next bar or a subsequent bar, and we took the trade off for a smaller than 5 or 10 point profit, or perhaps a smaller than the full 20-point loss that we are usually using on our trades. So it was a little struggle, but my comforting part of the day, and this is why I love the personal trading plan, is at the end of the day, plugging in my performance information, no matter what happened, no matter how I felt about the day, and then being able to look at what the forecast is. And what you're going to find is that even when you have a losing day, and like we did today on the live trading room, 9:30 to 12 performance, taking all signals, and even when we are slightly ahead of pace in terms of average number of losing days, that still is a really strong number in terms of the forecast for a 12-month period. We've got 8 weeks and a day behind us right now in the trading plan, which means we're starting to actually have some meaningful averages that we can work with and forecast going forward. So I feel really good about both of these plans, the one for 9:30 to noon and the one for 7 to 4. And I hope that you're doing your own work on your personal trading plan to see what your forecasted income is for a 12-month period. And if it isn't looking positive, if it isn't looking the way you want it to look, then ask us some questions in the live trading room, come to the Q&As, participate in the futures trading education program. Perhaps if you're trading options, participate in the Profit Builder Plus program. But we're here to help you learn to earn, and then hopefully you can actually earn. So that's what we want you to do. Learn to earn first and then trade to earn. So anything we can do to help you, we would be happy to. I appreciate all of you being here. We close out another good month, solid month, and we're looking forward to starting the new September trading month tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. live trading room. Thanks, folks.